To another episode of TeeVo and the Beard.
I know you can't see it, but I'm TeeVo, and that's the beard.
In this week's episode, we're going to be reviewing Suicide Squad, and by we, I mean TeeVo will be reviewing. I have not had a chance to see it yet.
But I hope you ask questions.
I definitely have questions, because I am familiar with the comic series.
Yes.
And I'm very curious on how close they line up. This will be a spoiler cast, but not in the same vein that our Star Trek one was. We're going to kind of lead into the bigger spoilers.
Right.
I'll make sure that TiVo gives me a sign before we hit the major spoiler, so I can give you a warning to shut it off, run to the movie theater, go see it, and then come back and listen.
Which you should. First of all, I would just say that you should see this movie.
Yeah. And of course, as we've said multiple times, we are complete amateurs. Take our opinion for what it is. But
very much on this one.
Yeah.
Very much on this one.
But so far from what I've heard, it was a fun movie, and I think that's what a lot of people were expecting from that. But first, what is Suicide Squad? It's a mixture of these bad guys from the DC universe, including Harley Quinn. I'm trying to think of who's in the movie version versus the comic.
I mean, they hit the pillars being like, Deadshot and, Harley Quinn from the New 52, Suicide Squad. But essentially, yeah, like you said, it's just the bad guys, not necessarily like the super villains, so they won't have like Atrocitus or the Joker or Sinestro or anything. It's like like the B level on villains. And basically the US government has put a nanite explosive in their body, so that allows them to be like, hey, I know you wouldn't do this normally, but I'm making you because if you don't, you'll die. And let's face it, no one's going to miss you. So either do it or die.
Right.
And that's really the driving plot of Suicide Squad, both comics and movie. Now,
what we'll do first is, as far as the movie goes, we'll have you kind of break down a few of the major characters. Of course, starting with who I will lovingly call Nicole Fury, Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller in this movie is played by Viola Davis, and you've probably seen her portrayed in the Arrow show, and Angela Bassett played her in the Green Lantern movie, which I was like, man, she picked the wrong movie to play Amanda Waller, because she totally could have done this part. Yeah. And she did, just in a horrible movie. But nonetheless, Viola Davis kills the part. Amanda Waller is just, the government. In DC Universe, the government embodied, you don't have credentials, and I can't tell you this. She's just cold, and yeah, she played it really well. And that's pretty much how I always kind of saw her in my head. That was it.
And I assume, like in the comics, she's set in Belle Reve, in Louisiana.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, some of the major characters, of course, like we said, is Harley Quinn. You have Killer Croc, Deadshot.
Which that kind of leads into my critique. A critique, not like I hated it because of that. It's like, oh, come on. So you're led to believe, at least I wanted to believe, this was a full ensemble piece.
Right.
Which generally it does show.
Because that's what the previews.
It does, and it is an ensemble piece per se. But let's just say if you were not Deadshot or Harley Quinn, you didn't get as much story or screen time.
Well, tell us a little bit about Killer Croc, because the Suicide Squad I'm familiar with has King Shark.
Yes.
So I know little to nothing about Killer Croc.
Well, Killer Croc is predominantly a Batman villain, which, speaking of Batman, I will get into that later.
Yes, yeah, we're going to get into Batman and Joker, definitely.
So, I mean, it's just, guy who, as the trailer puts, just, it's the appearance, like King Shark, how King Shark is a shark. He's just a giant crocodile man.
And those familiar with DC would, metahuman.
Yeah.
Kind of the DC's version of mutants.
Yeah, I mean, he did well. He didn't get a lot of backstory. But then again, I don't think he really needed to.
Okay.
But, it was still nice to have seen, them all get kind of, an equal time. Or make him feel as equally important. I hate to go with the competitor, but how Guardians of the Galaxy put it together.
And I've heard people compare those two movies together, especially when it comes to the soundtrack. But we'll get into.
But you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe Star-Lord is the clear star of it, but it really did feel like each of them were very important.
Right.
I didn't get that sense in this one.
Okay.
Like I said, we're not Harley Quinn. if you were not Deadshot. I mean, the fact that Diablo got a little more, but you know, like Captain Boomerang, Katana, Killer Croc, you know, kind of just fell into the background.
Now I hear one of the more C-list, maybe D-list bad guys made in there, Slipknot.
And
for about how long was he in this film?
Very little. Again, DC marketing is just like, you know, if you were really trying. Okay, spoiler. So if you know, this is not necessarily go see the movie now kind of spoiler. Just saying that, kind of the pause or skip maybe a few seconds.
Yeah.
So if you're going to release your first roster and Slipknot is in it, if you're going to kill him literally right after you introduce him, at least make us care a little bit, because how the movie starts, we get like a montage of like who each person is.
Okay.
Very briefly, mostly Harley Quinn and Deadshot.
Right. Yeah.
But we get that introduction. So in a real cool comic book way, they give like stats of them and all that stuff. And it was very colorful.
Kind of like they did in the Comic-Con preview.
Yeah, it gave like, you know, it was colorful, you know, it made it more visually fun to look at.
Yeah.
But, you know, they did one for Deadshot, Harley Quinn. I believe they did one for Captain Boomerang as well, which also has a cameo in it. We'll get to that. But, you know, maybe, I think Killer Croc might have had one, probably not. But you just felt like every single character got an intro, except for Slipknot. So when he came in, you were just like, hey, we don't know you. And he literally dies.
So he literally could have been an unnamed character.
He could have.
It wouldn't have mattered there.
The only reason he was used was to demonstrate that Amanda Waller is not joking. Because there's a part where, you know, Captain Boomerang is talking to Slipknot going, oh, you know, this thing's just like a mind game. And then they try to escape. And Slipknot actually gets pretty far away. And then, boom, he dies.
Yeah.
So it
There's
was only
for that.
It was only literally to illustrate that no, Amanda Waller is not kidding.
Right.
There is an explosive in your body, and you will die.
So it sounds like they keep her like tried and true to the comic book version of the Wall.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is like if you were gonna make that death shocking, a little, you could have spent a little more money making his intro.
Right.
That's all. I mean, because it's like, oh wow, you know, they don't introduce Slipknot until like the team's almost about to go do their thing. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, he died. All right.
Now, what about you mentioned Katana, Boomerang? What about El Diablo?
Yeah.
I'm kind of going up the list here.
El
backwards.
Diablo of the people that were not Amanda Waller or Rick Flag or Harley Quinn, Deadshot got a little more than the rest, but Captain Boomerang was pretty much there to be the funny drunkard. Katana, interesting choice. So she is not a Suicide Squad member. She is actually Rick Flag's kind of like bodyguard, in a way. So she's not a criminal.
So the previews really give you a different view of what's going on in the movie.
And they do the character justice. Let me say this. They do all the characters justice.
Okay.
Like, there's not any point of any character that you don't think, oh, that's not how that person is. So, kudos on that.
So Katana's sword does carry the soul of her ex.
She does. Yeah. But it's just, once again, you know, I was excited to see her. I like that story. I like how she's, you know, a awesome samurai sword wielding chick who has the soul of her dead husband in the sword. But, you know, you barely got any of that.
Yeah.
Like, there's one really nice moment that could have been sweeter if they had elaborated more on Katana. That she is basically weeping and talking to the sword. And, you know, at that point, you know, I know what Katana does.
Right.
You know, I know what her story, but there's not a lot of other people do. So when she's like weeping and talking to the sword, in Japanese, I might add.
Nice.
Like, most of her dialogue is in Japanese. So kudos to that.
What, do they keep Diablo in Spanish then?
They do not.
Oh, okay.
But I think he was going more like the gang, Latino gang member from this country.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A little different, but not enough to dissuade me from wanting to see it.
But you know, like the rest of them are like, hey, what's going on with her? And Rick Fly's like, oh, basically the exposition line. Oh, he sold her dead husband. I was like, what? That's not a throwaway line. That's like the character.
Yeah. That's kind of important there.
Oh, whatever. I was like, yeah, well, at least we get to see it, you know, but you know, if you're gonna put Katana in the story, your classic, you know, at least give her her due.
Right.
Maybe in another movie, I don't know.
And what about Boomerang?
Boomerang, again, I think he was just there to be the funny drunk character.
Similar to the comics, at least.
Just they didn't really give him much to do.
Yeah.
And even when he was being funny, he wasn't that funny. So, again, it's like, I mean, how much of us are really that hard into Captain Boomerang? But again, it's the whole, if you're going to put it in there,
do something with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, the de facto leader, at least in the comics, and I assume in the movie also, would be Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Played by Will Smith.
Will Smith, he should totally... When Will Smith ever has, like, a Lifetime Achievement Award thing, an award where they show clips of your best moments, this movie really should be a part of that list.
Okay.
He really did sell it well. And if you think, Will Smith can't be an ensemble, well, like I said, it's not much of an ensemble as you think.
Right.
But as what he does in the movie, he really sells the character.
Okay.
So you got someone...
But he's good at playing bad, because that would be my biggest worry.
The character Deadshot to me is not always that like a cold killer like Deathstroke.
Right, yeah.
Like he literally is a hitman. He's like, yeah, if you pay me enough, I'll kill anybody you want. But it's not because I'm evil, it's just because I love money.
Right.
So they did do that angle very well. So like, yeah, he was a guy who has very loose morals, but he wasn't an evil guy.
He was a bad guy without being a villain.
Yeah, exactly. And I know your next question, Harley Quinn.
Well, no, I did have one more question before that about Deadshot.
Okay.
Yeah. In the comic, he keeps his mask on a lot. I'm assuming if you're going to pay for Will Smith's face, you're going to get Will Smith's face.
I would say the mask was a good, 70-30.
Okay.
When he wore the mask, it was awesome. But really, in the scenes where he was, guns blazing and had just, the eye.
Yeah.
It was still cool.
Okay.
Like I said, he really should put this movie on. It's like, you know what? I am very proud of this. And
so it's much better than I Am Legend. And
oh yeah. But yeah, Will Smith. I remember when they cast Will Smith as Deadshot. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. In many ways to me. But
yeah,
we'll see.
Seeing him as a quote unquote bad guy,
and then not be the star. But then again,
I was about to say for the preview of the show, he kind of is star-ish at least, if not the star.
But I don't know if they could ever give him his own movie, but if they should totally bring him back for something. I don't know what, but he definitely knocked it out of the park.
And of course, last but not least,
Harley Quinn. Everybody wants to know about Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Which is, that goes into my spoilerific critique later. But Margot Robbie, from the second I learned she was playing Harley Quinn, I was like, yeah, that's perfect. Like, she got that look. And just all around me. So I was not worried about her.
I was most worried about her voice.
In the way of, were you expecting, the cartoon, or?
Not so much the cartoon, but very close. Kind of like how, have you played any of, the Arkham Knights games?
Briefly.
The voice actress Tara Strong plays Harley Quinn in that, and she does kind of the animated voice, but not to the ear-piercing octave that the animated one does. But it is that very New Jersey type sound.
She had, an accent for sure.
Okay, but not an Australian one, which is her native.
Not an Australian one. She did have an accent for sure.
Okay.
It's kind of like how she sounded in Wolf of Wall Street. So whoever hasn't seen Wolf of Wall Street, you definitely should, for many reasons.
Yeah.
If you love Margot Robbie, for many reasons. But anyway. But I liked her,
Okay.
And I like that, they did go through her whole background. So you saw her as Dr. Harleen Quinzel. She's there to cure the Joker, but instead she fell in love with the Joker.
And this is all done in flashback?
It's all done in flashbacks. And, her on the team definitely felt like more of the wild card. They did a very good job of showing the lethal side of Harley Quinn. Because maybe the old 90s cartoon more depicted her as Joker's sidekick.
Right, yeah. The one thing I don't like about the animated series is the fact that it kind of fluffs the Joker-Harley relationship. It doesn't make it look as bad as it actually is.
Well, it's always interpretation.
But in the comics, he is literally abusive, both verbally and physically. And she has so much she's so in Stockholm syndrome that it might as well be called Harley syndrome
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, it's always up for interpretation, the relationship between Harley Quinn and the Joker. This one, I'm not sure where they drew or why they did it. Not a problem, but just this one they made Joker actually care about Harley Quinn.
Okay. Well, even in some of the comics, there are times.
There are times. So it's kind of, that's why I meant, like, it's up for interpretation.
Yeah. And this is a PG-13 film.
This is a PG-13
so they do have to keep some things down.
Yeah. They played up the Joker really cares about Harley in this movie, which is fine. And
we'll definitely get into more of the Joker in a bit.
Yes.
Big question that I have, just going by the previews with Harley Quinn, we see a couple of her different costume changes.
Yes.
Now, in the comics, both in the Suicide Squad comics and also other Harley comics, they're able to make a sexy, powerful character without making her over-sexualized. Does the movie continue with that, or do they?
I'm going to say no.
Well, I know there is that one scene in the preview where she starts taking off her top there.
Oh, she's putting it on.
Oh, she's putting it on. Okay, the preview makes it look like she's undressing.
She is dressing.
Okay.
Well, for those
that's better.
Those who worry about Harley Quinn's costume, if you still hate it, there is actually a montage where she does wear the onesie. Spoiler. So, shut up about that.
Right.
But then it's always the ever classic. Sometimes when things look great in an animated show or a comic book, doesn't mean it's going to look awesome on screen.
Right, yeah.
So there was a part she did wear the full Harley Quinn onesie, and it was a nice fan service.
I imagine it kind of looks ridiculous.
It did look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I hope she, in the flashbacks in that time period, she didn't wear it to be, like, bad. She just kind of wore it as a thing for the Joker.
Okay.
But, yeah, she is pretty sexualized. But it's not, aside from when she's putting on her outfit.
Okay.
But it's not like they do, like, gratuitous shots.
Okay.
But, Margot Robbie is just an attractive woman in general. Right. It's hard to not sexualize her. Like, I remember I watched a movie called Z for Zachariah, she did, with Chiwetel Ejiofor and Chris Pine.
Okay.
And in that, she's supposed to play it's like a post-apocalyptic world-ish. It's kind of a boring movie. But in that sense, she was not supposed to be attractive looking. And you know what? I was like...
She failed?
Well, I was like, I don't know, but I'm still finding you very attractive. But, good job for, trying to act.
Right.
I will give her that. She is a good actress. So at the end, end of the day, at least she's got that.
And before we get into some of the other characters, such as Batman and Joker there,
yes.
How was the general pacing of the movie? You say when they start with the intro, it's kind of fast and quick.
Let's see. Well, first, I like mentioned, this is a movie I would totally watch again.
Okay.
And also buy on the Blu-ray.
Okay.
So there's no doubt about that. Pacing at the beginning is pretty fast because they're trying to catch you up on everything. So the driving force for this whole thing is, the events of Batman and Superman.
Okay.
So, but you don't necessarily have to see the movie. So for those of you who kind of worried, I didn't watch Batman and Superman, will I get this? I'm pretty sure you will. If you're cognitive to storytelling.
But is it one of those things where if you have seen BVS, you're going to get certain little jokes, kind of like Star Trek?
Very little.
Okay.
And not even jokes, just like tiny plot points, but very little.
Okay.
They kind of explain it for you anyway. But let's just say this. If you haven't seen Batman and Superman, Suicide Squad gives you a very big spoiler about it. So,
I'm not liking where this is going here.
Well, okay, spoiler. So at the end of Batman and Superman, Superman dies. Takes place, and they mention that in the beginning of Suicide Squad. So that in that, like, if you didn't see it, you're like, oh, wait, what happened? I thought he was...
Of course, if you're familiar with comic books in general, all major characters eventually die.
Yeah, so...
And then come back, and then die.
That's the only spoiler.
Oh,
it's just like, say you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And you watch the beginning, you're like, wait, whoa, spoiler.
And as we know from, the upcoming Justice League movie, chances are pretty good that we're going to see Superman again.
Yes.
And even if we don't we're going to get him in Supergirl. So you're going to get your Superman fix somehow if for some reason you like that character.
Yeah, no, the pacing was fine. You were engaged in the movie.
Okay.
Because
it looks like a fun, fast, colorful movie.
When I read reviews, I heard, like, oh, it's, getting bad reviews. Well, I was like, even if it's as bad as Batman and Superman, at least it's going to most likely feel more fun to watch.
Right.
And I said that before I watched it. And I don't think it's as bad. I think it's more fun to watch for sure, but yeah.
So, a couple of the other characters that people are familiar with are Batman and Joker.
Yes.
Who do you want to take first there?
Well, before I get to them, let me say the Enchantress.
I totally forgot about her. Yes,
but I'm going to get more about her in the spoiler part.
Okay.
But she's played by Cara Delevingne, who's maybe because in the day of social media, I know more about Cara Delevingne, the model who's trying to be an actress thing. Sorry, Cara Delevingne, but there's just, and maybe because I also know how old you are. Margot Robbie, who is as old as I am, playing a doctor, I can get. But you are a young 21, 22-year-old trying to play a doctor, archaeologist.
Yeah.
It's like, no. If Cara Delevingne had played the Enchantress, so how the Enchantress comes in, they show Dr. Jin Moon, unfortunately getting possessed by the Enchantress.
Right.
If someone else played Dr. June Moon and then Cara Delevingne is the Enchantress, I would have gotten down with it. But just kind of like, did you say yes, but then the whole but I want to play both part thing? Because, when she was playing the spirited Enchantress, I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. You're doing well in that. Doctor?
Not so much.
No. And Rick Flag.
Right.
Who was... If they were
even reading the comics, I forget he exists.
Yeah, well, but you know what? He did a good part in the movie. No qualms. He got more, but I think when you're the supposed leader of the group, you do get some good screen time and good parts. So I'll give that.
Even though anybody who's read the comics or obviously seen the movie will see Deadshot more as the leader there.
Deadshot's totally there, but Rick Flag's got some good moments, so he doesn't he does not fall into the background like Killer Croc and Captain Boomerang. He's got some solid moments.
Nice.
But yeah, so Batman and the Joker.
Even if you're not familiar with comics, you know who these characters are. And it's Batfleck.
It is Batfleck.
Yeah.
Kudos to this movie. This movie made Ben Affleck's Batman, feel more like Batman than Batman vs. Superman.
Nice.
So how Amanda Waller explained how she caught Deadshot.
Okay.
It shows, she says, after the montage of Deadshot awesomely assassinating dude, they were like, well, how'd you get him? Well, she said, we got him in Gotham City. And he's like, and I just gave the information to someone who could handle it. And you're there thinking, oh God, are we gonna see Batman? So it's a nice moment. We see Deadshot, in civilian wear with his daughter. They're going Christmas shopping or something. It's a nice moment. But then they cut into an alleyway and ambushed by Batman.
Nice.
And just the intro and the presence of Ben Affleck's Batman. I was like, oh my God. That's Batman.
It was Batman.
It was Batman. Yeah. I was like, how in this 1 minute clip of you feel more like Batman. So kudos to David Ayer for that. The second time we see Batman, which of course is in the Harley origin. So how she gets caught. So we've seen it in the trailer. It's the one where Joker and Harley are taking that car for a ride, and then Batman's chasing them, and Joker decides to, cut the corner and go into the river. And before that, she's like, "No, I can't swim!" And then the car crashes into the river. Batman, as we've seen in the trailer, has the breathing mask on, jumps in after. We see Joker has just gone missing, so he pretty much left her, and Batman captured her and blah blah blah. The next time you see Batman, it's a mid-credit scene. Spoiler. It is not Batman, it's Bruce Wayne, so it's full Ben Affleck.
Okay.
And basically Amanda Waller wants to keep the action of the movie secret. She enlists Bruce Wayne to help her, and in exchange he wants some files on metahumans. Which is to lead into Justice League.
Yeah.
However, speaking of Justice League, there is a surprise cameo. Again, spoiler, in Captain Boomerang's background, we meet the Flash.
Nice.
Yes, that is how Captain Boomerang gets caught. He was caught by the Flash.
I like how DC is kind of taking a page from Marvel's book by actually incorporating all the movies together now, weaving them.
Yes. And the Joker, it's kind of like you do see the Joker a little more than Batman. There's something about Jared Leto's Joker that I want to know more about.
Okay.
I like Jared Leto, so I was a little biased going into it, and I like that he's doing a whole different approach to Joker. Some people might not like that. I don't know.
Each Joker's been different, though. Everyone from Caesar on down.
That's why I love the character of the Joker. You look at Michael Keaton's Batman, you look at Christian Bale's Batman, you look at Affleck's Batman. They're still, in essence, the same person. They're Batman. But you look at, going back to Cesar Romero Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker, and Jared Leto's Joker.
And Mark Hamill, for those familiar with
Mark
the
Hamill.
animated series.
Just any Joker, they're not the same.
No.
But you can say that the Joker.
Right.
And I really like that. So when I saw Jared Leto's first picture and then, going into trailers, I just wanted to know more. So the movie didn't show you much.
Okay.
It just made me want to see, I hope when they do Affleck's solo Batman movie, we get more Joker.
Right.
And I think they're doing a Harley Quinn movie. I hope we get more Joker.
Yeah, I mean, it would only make sense there.
It's just, the characteristics is nothing like any other Joker we've seen. And in that, I was interested.
Okay.
There's some good sequences we see in the Harley origin. But other than that, you don't see a lot of the Joker.
Yeah. Well, what I've always liked about the Joker is, for one, he's a bad guy that actually not necessarily makes you root for him per se, but it makes you go, okay, I see why you're doing this. And I also like the fact that he doesn't have a set origin story. Well, I mean, as far as what the original creator.
Yeah. Well, I would say there's not enough to go on that you really root for the Joker in this one. Okay. Other than the notion of hey, I don't know where my girlfriend is, and I really want to get her back. So sure,
so it's a romance.
So sure,
yeah.
But he's not the driving villain in this.
Okay.
He's very
kind of like the previews.
He's really supporting.
Okay.
Going to the previews, that's where we're gonna get whole spoilerific. But yeah, he's very supporting. He's really only there for Harley, which makes sense, of course. But you just didn't get a lot. I mean, you get the classic moments like I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm not gonna kill you. I'm gonna hurt you really, really bad, kind of thing. It
seems like previews versus movies for this has done the exact opposite of what BVS did, where Batman vs. Superman gave you everything in the previews, everything from Wonder Woman to Doomsday to everything you needed to know. In this one, the previews seem to have taken you on a rabbit trail in a far other direction.
Yes.
So are we going to enter big spoiler territory yet, or do you have?
But Last Loads, go see it. Soundtrack's great. Yeah. You're going to have a fun time watching it.
A lot of people have been comparing the soundtrack to Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't think it should be. It's a little differently paced than Guardians. I think the only reason they say that is because they're actually using popular songs.
Right. Yeah. This time though, covers though instead of the originals.
Yeah. You're gonna have a fun time. My critique of DC movies still is when it's dark, it's really dark.
Right.
Though this time it wasn't literally dark. It's just there were moments where it got dark in tone, but it was overly dark. It's do we need to get this dark? Yeah. But they did amp up the fun bit more, which I'm not saying that every comic book movie needs to be fun to watch, but it's just when you sense the absence of it, you kind of miss it, and then you see it in a Marvel movie, in a dark movie like Civil War, you still have a sense of fun. Right. It's just see that it's perfectly balanced. We're not watching a kiddie movie, but it's just nice to smile in a movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So this one up to the bit. I hope they do more in Justice League. I would not say this is like I read Kevin Smith saying this movie's saving DC. I was I don't think it's there yet. I think it's helping the image, but I hope Wonder Woman is the one to save it. Right. Based on the trailers.
It would be very appropriate.
Based on the trailers, I think it would. Yeah. But, they just got a little more work to do. But this is a good step in the right direction. I wouldn't necessarily say they're saving DC films yet.
Now, before we go full force into spoiler town, if you had to, put this in your top 10, top 20, top 50 superhero movies, where do you think it would end up?
Definitely right outside top 10.
Okay.
For sure.
But like the bottom half, top half?
Say like, if I had to just give an offhand ranking right now, being like, 15 to 12.
Okay. Yeah, because I know we've talked about like ranking stuff before and how like your opinion one day might change after another viewing or something like that.
So. I'd say somewhere around there.
Okay. But
which
still,
is good. Man.
Yeah, but still definitely, because there's a lot of superhero movies out.
Yeah,
so,
especially recently. I mean, like, Marvel's pretty much taken top 13 spots to me, so,
Yeah. But it's definitely worth you seeing again and worth buying.
Oh, yeah, I kind of want to make plans to see it again.
Yeah. And
don't know when, but,
I assume there will be an R-rated version of the Blu-ray.
I hope there is.
Yeah.
So let's get into spoilers.
Yes, we are entering...
Excuse me! Spoiler alert!
We are entering...
we'll start with the R-rated thing.
Yeah, we'll enter into big spoiler territory now, so...
I remember the rumors after how successful Deadpool was, that they were going to shoot for Suicide Squad to be rated R.
Right.
And at first I was like, well, unless it's intended to be rated R, you should just make it rated R. They should have intended it. It's just kind of like, you're dealing with some interesting characters, that... Not saying it made it a bad movie for being PG-13, but you kind of had that sense of like, we could go a little farther.
So you felt like they were holding back a lot?
Just a shade. I'm not sure in, what parts could have been more rated R, but I feel like you could have gone for it. So we'll start with that.
I have read some reviews where it felt like they were holding back on at least language.
Yeah. I could definitely see that. At least, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So my main spoilerific critique is, so we're back to the Enchantress.
Okay.
The Enchantress is the villain in the movie. You don't get that in the previews at all.
No, but she looks like she's part of the squad.
She does look like she's part of the squad. And that's the thing about DC marketing so far. It's like, whoever's making your action sequences, you need to give that guy a raise. Because the action sequences in Batman Superman and this movie, top notch. Whoever's doing your writing and your marketing, you need to get some new people.
Okay.
I mean, nothing wrong with like a twist in like, narrative from previews, but at least with the notion of like, when you give your first roster, we see the Enchantress there, we see Slipknot there. If we're gonna kill Slipknot and make it kind of shocking, could have gave him some more.
Yeah.
And same with the Enchantress, you kind of make it look like she's part of the team. But then again, it's like, would I rather be taken for a loop or given the whole thing in a trailer? I guess I'm gonna go with what they did with Suicide Squad.
Right.
But I really did enjoy, even though after I saw it we were taken in for a little loop, I still enjoy that we didn't know anything about the movie.
Right, yeah.
So maybe just give a talking to the marketing or the writing. So they fight the Enchantress. And also the Enchantress starts her attack towards almost before the middle of the movie. And the battle goes on a long time.
Okay.
And the whole time I'm thinking, so there are no other superheroes that have anything to say about this.
No
like
Superman,
the city.
No Batman.
Well, Superman's dead, so I was like, okay, fine, he gets a pass. But the Enchantress, so she opens another like idol, which then unleashes her brother. So they wreak havoc on the city, and she's trying to create a portal.
Now, are they in Midway City?
Midway City. She's trying to create a
portal. So no Hulkman, Hulk Girl helping out here?
No, not at all. They trying to open a portal. They're literally turning these civilians into like these like clay monsters or whatever. These little blobs, whatever. But it's just the whole. Nobody has anything to say. Like sure, Superman's dead, but Wonder Woman. You look pretty technologically savvy in Batman and Superman. You're telling me you have nothing to say about this. Like you said, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, The Flash.
Yeah.
Like
people in cities close by,
It just, no one has anything to say about this demon witch opening a portal. There is like a ring of debris around the skyscraper. People are dead.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's literally up to the Suicide Squad. Which goes into that. So as cool as the characters were, as great as the action were, I could not help think at the end when they were battling the Enchantress of thinking, I think you guys are outmatched. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, shouldn't this be a job for Justice League Dark?
Yeah.
Like, that's really what's kind of keeping me from thinking, this is an awesome, perfect DC movie. It's like,
Okay.
you could have literally kept the same script almost, but make it Justice League Dark. You know, to see Constantine and Zatanna and Deadman and whoever else, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
Like, Swamp Thing could have been Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Constantine could have been Deadshot. Zatanna could have been Harley Quinn. Deadman could have been Captain Boomerang.
Makes sense to me.
And the way they beat the Enchantress, I was like, I think that was a little luck.
Yeah.
But, you know, what kills me is that they sat on this script for a while. They didn't reveal a lot. But the notion of like, oh, they were holding this as their ace in the hole. It's like the whole time you're thinking they're going to battle this 1,000-year-old, witch.
Right.
With bullets and swords and bats. It's like, if you're trying to make an extended universe and introduce characters that you don't normally see, a la Batman and Superman, why not do Justice League Dark?
Yeah.
You could have still even had Amanda Waller in it.
Yeah.
So that's where, they didn't lose me, but they kept making me think, it's like, this should be a job for Justice League Dark.
Okay. So it's that big hole in the
I know, and I don't know how many
other
other people would think this. Some people might listen to this and be like, oh, that's stupid. I can't believe that you let that ruin it.
Yeah.
Not ruin, but I couldn't help but think it a lot.
But at least you have a solution there. I've read other reviews where people basically say the same thing about that giant hole in the plot.
Yeah.
But they don't have anything to fill the hole with. At least you're saying, throw Justice League Dark in there.
Like literally, the Enchantress could have had the exact same thing. The exact same thing. Same scenes of Amanda Waller, because Amanda Waller first recruits the Enchantress before she, had her own agenda.
Yeah.
Like, that could have been like a prelude to Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And then, you have like a character like Madame Xanadu seeing her crystal ball, oh, there's something bad's going to happen. You see like maybe Constantine with Zed, and she's drawing out something bad.
And everybody wants to see Constantine.
Exactly, And just like a magic battle.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking, DC, you could have beat Marvel to magic.
Yes. Yeah.
Doctor Strange doesn't come out for a few months. If this is the script you were sitting on, you could have beat Marvel.
Yeah.
You already beat Marvel to a woman, first woman superhero. You could have beat Marvel to magic.
Yeah.
And you literally don't have to change that lot. And how cool would it have been, for another post-credit scene when then she's like, I want to make Task Force X.
Yeah.
So then they're thinking, oh my God, we're going to see Suicide Squad. So little stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm not a writer. Again, we state again, we're amateurs. I am not in any field of like writing or producing or anything. It was just my thought as a fan.
And maybe there'll be stuff in the, unrated or R-rated DVD, Blu-ray version that fills in a little bit more. Yeah.
But, my thing is, if they ever do get the balls to do Justice League Dark live action, I'm going to be thinking, you kind of already did that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to make a really good script and a really good bad guy to substitute the fact that you should have fought the Enchantress.
Right.
But I think, they were just in pressure of like introducing Harley Quinn.
Okay.
While she was cool to watch and I look forward to her own movie, it just felt like you guys you didn't want to make a Harley Quinn movie, so you made a Suicide Squad movie to kind of introduce the character.
Okay. So it was almost like her origin story sort of thing.
A little bit.
Yeah. Now, of course, the big question for people who haven't seen the movie yet is the infamous subway scene. What is that? What's going on?
That is the
Since we're in spoiler town.
That is the Enchantress's brother.
Okay.
So.
Because I noticed if you really, pay attention to it, it does have, like, the lights and magic and all that have a little bit of, like, green and purple to them. So there was some speculation that it had something to do with the Joker there.
No, it's the Enchantress's brother.
That's kind of disappointing there.
Well, it was, again, cool sequences. So if we're going spoiler again, Joker really, so after Harley got captured, Joker's mission is to find her. And that's really it.
Okay.
we get some cool sequences, but overly, it's just Joker. Joker's job is to reclaim his Harley.
So have we seen anything, is there anything in the film with Joker that's not in the previews? Because most of the things you've mentioned with the Joker I've seen. I've not seen the movie, so.
The only thing so it's established that Joker tampered with Harley's nanite.
Okay.
By breaking into Wayne Enterprise, which is being made there.
Yeah.
And he basically threatens the doctor who is going to create them so they can administer them. Be like, you're going to come with me. And yeah. And so he then, threatens the warden of Bel Rev. It's the scene where hopefully it's the whole, let me show you my toys.
Yeah.
We don't see that line exactly, but it's probably that part. And he gives Harley Quinn a purple phone.
Of course.
And they text each other, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Throughout.
And he finally rescues Harley, and her thing is disabled.
Okay.
But then Amanda, and it's a great moment that shows they have somewhat human side of Deadshot. So Harley Quinn basically, jump ship, abandons the squad, goes with Joker because she's not looking for any redemption. She really is just looking to be with the Joker again. Yeah. And that moment, she got him. And then Amanda Waller's like, Deadshot, shoot Harley Quinn.
Oh, wow.
And she's basically saying like, oh, you'll get whatever you want. Kill Harley Quinn right now. And he elects not to. Right. He shoots something.
Well, he is Will Smith.
Yeah.
He's got to Will Smith it up a little bit.
Yeah, but it was just nice, to show that Deadshot's not, cold-hearted psycho.
Right.
He's just a really good assassin.
Yeah.
So then instead she gets other people to shoot down Joker's helicopter. Then the helicopter crashes. Harley Quinn, before it crashed, falls on the roof of the building. So now she is thinking Joker's dead. Right. So that's when we get her more with the squad. Okay. Because it happens not at the end. It's like, it was not even before we really got the reveal that the Enchantress, it was kind of like, oh, wait, no. It was after the Enchantress, sorry. But it was before the big battle with the Enchantress, my bad. But it was like, oh, wow, Harley's leaving, but we've seen in the trailer that she's still in some fights. Yeah.
That's how they do it, yeah.
But spoiler, of course, can't kill the Joker. Because at the end, we've seen in the trailer or pictures where Harley Quinn's, drinking some espresso in her cell. Right after that, guns blazing in, it's a SWAT team, but then, it's the Joker.
Right. And do we find out if the Joker is Tim Drake? Like one of the internet speculations is going on.
You don't, and I hope it's never.
Right.
That kind of
the Joker, in my opinion, is kind of like the Doctor from Doctor Who. He is what he is.
Yes, I don't want a twist of like that's how he got the way he is. Right. But no, we don't get it. We don't get anything about Joker's origin.
Okay.
I think they're going on the whole notion of like we know who the Joker is. We don't need an origin of him.
Right.
We need an origin of Harley because not many people know Harley as well.
And as a Batman fan, I've always liked the idea of the Joker being a title, and it could literally be, each rendition we've seen could literally be a different person as the Joker, and that is perfectly fine with me.
So that's my thoughts on Suicide Squad.
Okay. It sounds like it's...
I don't know how many people out there will get what I'm saying, but hey, that's... I couldn't help but think that's literally what I was thinking in the movie. Sure, I'd like to see it again now that I know what's going to happen. Right. I can just purely enjoy it from this moment instead of kind of thinking certain things. But yeah, let's get more.
Now, do you think that they left room for a sequel or just for spin-offs?
That's kind of tough.
Okay.
That's a good question. I didn't really think about that. Sure, a sequel? But
there's a lot of question marks for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
We're in the day of anybody can write anything. So.
Well, yeah,
But sure, there could be a sequel.
Should there be a sequel, I guess would be the...
I don't know, because at the end of the movie, Harley gets rescued by the Joker. So she is clearly not in that environment anymore.
Right.
It's still unclear whether they managed to activate her explosive, because Joker had it disarmed.
Right.
But she booked it.
Yeah.
Naturally. Killer Croc's still there. Captain Boomerang's now incarcerated at Bel Rev. Deadshot's happy because he worked out a deal, so at least he's able to see his daughter.
Okay.
And that's really, what he wants.
Mm-hmm. Help her with her math homework.
Exactly. But, yeah, there could be more. It's kind of hard to not to make a sequel at this point because they're starting to rush into, and that's the thing I feel like DC. I watched Batman and Superman a couple more times since I bought it, and the reason it's so long is because they're having to cram so much into these things to make future plots.
Because they're trying to catch up with Marvel.
They're trying to catch up with Marvel, and it's kind of showing. That's rushed to me. Suicide Squad, it felt a little more free and independent, but they had to set the whole because of this, blah blah. Okay. And the post-credit scene, just felt gratuitous in the sense of it's a tie-in to Justice League. Yeah. So that's how Batman finds more about these superheroes.
Yeah. Which we all knowing now that they all tie together, it was kind of obvious. Yeah. That that's going to keep happening anyway.
But it's just it just feels like, they're just trying to cram a lot of story in. And why I say that is I don't know what they would do in another Suicide Squad. And as you listened before, I don't think this should have been the Suicide Squad movie. Yeah. I always associate Suicide Squad with maybe fighting other B to D level villains. Right, yeah. Or just an army of dirty bombers or, regular people. But, to go against something magical. Yeah. Again,
with, like you said, guns and swords and baseball bats.
Yeah, if you watch the movie, you don't feel that way. If you don't know what Justice League Dark was, I can kind of explain it to you. But that was just my feeling. Yeah. So, I in a sense of wanting more comic book movies, sure, yeah, I'd hope for a sequel. I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. So,
okay.
Sounds. I still like it. Yeah. I still like it, and I want to see it again. Yeah. Not to overanalyze again. I just want to watch it. It was fun, people.
Right. And that's what I think most people should go into. Just judging from the previews and from what I've read about it, most people should just go into this movie expecting to have fun. Yeah. Not overthink it. Not And
it wasn't it was. I thought it was bad from that point on. I was like, this should be Justice League Dark. Right. I was like,
you didn't just storm out of the theater.
I did not storm out. It was just something that kept bugging me in my mind. I was like, man, this should be Justice League Dark. Yeah. Kudos to this action sequence. This is awesome, but kind of opportunity missed. Yeah. I know Guillermo del Toro has been working on Justice League Dark, and they've been trying to pursue it, and I think they're trying to make...
He could definitely do it justice, too.
Oh, yeah. And I think they're trying to meet fans halfway because they are making an animated Justice League Dark movie with Matt Ryan, who portrayed him in the show as Constantine. And I'm thinking, man, if you guys were worried about you unable to bring Justice League Dark to life, you kind of could have done it here. Yeah. Same script. Yeah.
Do you think Amanda Waller's going to come back in other DC films?
I hope she does.
Yeah. Become lightly Nick Fury of DC?
In a different way.
In a different way, yeah,
Amanda Waller's presence is known in DC world. I hope it's just, when something goes on, when it's something about the government, I hope she's there. Yeah. Same I said with Will Smith in the beginning. I hope he comes back. I don't know how he's going to come back, but I just hope he's coming back.
He can be in the background somewhere during Justice League. And
I don't know, because,
maybe they come up to him and ask him to join Justice League, and he gives a Wolverine answer.
It's one of those moments where, when Marvel's suiting up for their massive crossover coming up, the Infinity Wars, which we all assume is going to be massive, crossover. They haven't said anything, because why should they? Right. They're trying to illustrate, why don't you see the movie? And then all your answers will be...
Marvel's good at hiding stuff.
All your answers will be there. But so far, they're building up to kind of like that with DC, unless that's not their plan. It's just I don't know how these... Yeah, they're in the same universe, but I don't know how these are going to, come together. Yeah.
Well, only time will tell there.
Only time will tell. Or not. Maybe DC's kind of trying to go in the other route. Not everything has to come together. They're in the same universe, but yeah, we don't need massive crossovers or anything. Yeah,
we'll see. And we'll see you all again next week.
Yep.
Bye.